What is up, everybody? It's Aaron Ray back again for the offseason with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. We took a break through the playoffs because, there's not really much going on DFS. I had a baby, so it kind of gave us a break and time to get acclimated at home, so it definitely helps. It's always the opposite direction, right? Got to remember
that way, whatever way it is. Yep. I don't know. So, I never know.
So, anyways, good to see I guess good for you guys to see our ugly mugs yet again. We're glad
you look like a whole new man is over here.
Glad that you're
a whole new.
Hey, you got it right. I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you. Yeah.
Drop in the comments if you guys think that beard looks red, because it looks red to me. I don't know.
I got 12 weeks of paid paternity leave, so don't have to shave, which is great. Don't have to get a haircut either. It's getting kind of long. So said I don't need to waste that money on the barber. So here we are. Even though I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow.
Well, Aaron.
Yes.
It feels like it's been way too long, and I'm so excited because now we're going to get into the offseason. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things. Like, let's say today, we're going to do a season recap, just a quick one, brief one. You guys got any questions, any things you guys want to throw in there, you guys want us to talk about the next episode, anything you want to cover in the offseason, please stick around, give us those view hours, and drop it in the comments. But we'll cover anything you guys want us to talk about, really, because we're here for the fans, right? Here for the fans.
For the people.
For the people.
For the peeps.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl real fast.
I know we're late on talking about it.
We're late.
Great game.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
Mm-hmm.
Really sad with how it ended. Happy for the Chiefs. I have no skin in the game. I don't care. I could care less which way it went either way. Just really sad for the way that it ended, that was the first defensive holding call that they called all game.
By the letter of the law, I can see why it got called. Yeah, I could see why. Let him play. But aside from that, they were still going to kick a field goal. Harrison Butker's been pretty money. I would imagine he's going to make that field goal. I would have liked to see Jalen Hurts get another drive, but
I would have too. I would have loved to see it go 38-38 into OT.
Mm-hmm. A couple things that I wanted to bring up, though, just from the Super Bowl, because, again, we're talking about some new stuff here. What do you do with Kenneth Gainwell going into next season? What do you do with him?
If you're in Dynasty format, you hold, because before drafts even start, we'll know if Miles Sanders has re-signed to the Eagles or not.
Or if they go get it back.
Yep.
Or that. I think that might happen. When I was seeing how much Kenneth Gainwell was involved, and it's crazy because they didn't use him like that throughout the whole season, but then all of a sudden in the Super Bowl, he's
Boston
the dude.
Scott too,
and Boston Scott looked nasty.
He did. He looked good. I do have a lot of questions going into this next season about Miles Sanders, whether he re-signs with the Eagles for a friendlier deal or goes to a different team. But beginning of the season, he looked really good, and then just kind of.
Injuries kind of
fell to meet. But even in the Super Bowl, dude, he got a yard and a half a carry, 2 yards a carry, and Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell Kenneth Gainwell was 4 inches short from scoring a touchdown.
I thought he was. And look, they used Jerick McKinnon perfectly. The Chiefs did.
Mm-hmm.
What the Chiefs did.
Jerick McKinnon is a selfless man.
Yeah.
Selfless.
I see the memes saying he could have told his kids he could have scored in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He said he could say he won a Super Bowl. What does that mean? Shut up.
They still probably would have. If they scored there, still probably would have won. But
I think they would have too. But
I think even if that game goes into OT or the Eagles drive, I think they still win just the way that the Chiefs defense was playing. But Jalen Hurts had a great game. Don't take his 300 yards passing with a passing touchdown, 70 yards on the ground and two rushing touchdowns. Don't take that for granted, man. He balled out. Even though they lost, he balled out.
Yeah, if they win, he wins the MVP.
Yep.
He wins the MVP.
Yep.
And I know that he had a bonehead fumble in the second quarter. But that's going to happen. But he balled out, and he passed the eyeball test every step of the way. Going forward next season, I would imagine. So let's jump over to the Chiefs real quick. I know we're jumping back and forth, but going to the Chiefs side of the ball, they have to sign a real receiver one. I don't know if that's Juju. I don't know if that's TikTok Boy. I don't think it is.
It's not. It's not Juju.
It sure as hell is an MVS.
Oh, it's not Juju.
couldn't be MVS.
Nope. If I were them, I would try to finagle a deal with Arizona and get D-Hop.
See, I've seen that tagged a couple times. I like that move.
Go sign OBJ.
I would have liked to see Tony get more involved in this game, and I don't think that he was utilized until that one drive that he was, and he got that big punt return. But
he was like the Bills trading for Nyheim Hines, right? They needed a solid special teamer. They needed someone who could actually return the football, just like with the Packers and Nixon. They needed someone who can actually return the football on punt and kick returns to give them an advantage so they don't die in the special teams and lose the game because of special teams.
And they didn't.
They didn't. No, that's what I'm
provided.
Yep.
He provided it.
And he just so happens to be good enough that he can actually get in on the offensive side of the ball too. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. I think they have to go sign somebody. I think they do.
I agree.
And D-Hop fits the bill. He fits completely. That bill perfectly.
He's on the back end of his career. You can probably get him for cheap because the Cardinals probably aren't going to want to pay him after this year anyways. So I'm pretty sure he's probably fed up with Kyler Murray just like everyone else is. So he probably wants out, but is keeping it quiet. Like
maybe go trade for Deontay Johnson because he doesn't want to be there. I don't know.
I mean, realistically, who could they trade for?
Who wants to give them a piece?
Who wants to give the Chiefs a piece?
Who wants to? They got to pay the Patriot premium now.
Yeah, I know.
You can't just have another dynasty forming and you helped it. There's no way.
That's fair.
On the Eagles side of the ball.
That's fair. What's up?
Devonta Smith.
He's a dude.
Devonta Smith.
He's a little guy, but he's a dude.
Where do you feel like drafting him next season?
Where did I draft him this year? 6th round?
5th round?
I drafted him this year in the 5th or 6th. You had to pay a premium on Devonta Smith.
So you're jumping a little further back of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th?
That's too much for me. There's still too many wide receiver ones that are left open.
I would say for me, at the end of the 4th, I'm considering. I'm open. I'm open to think about it. Because AJ Brown's going to go in the 2nd. Yeah. And you saw I think this is right now this is super early, but you're seeing it like how Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, we were way off of them in the offseason. And
I was way on Waddle. I was way off Tyreek.
We were off of them as in like they are going to be a top 10 commodity.
Me?
And they were. I was way off.
I drafted Waddle, and I specifically said, yes, you can take Tyreek in the 2nd. I will not forget this episode. Yeah, you can take Tyreek in the 2nd because there are a few mock drafts that I took him, and I was like, but you can get 5 spots lower in the final finishes of the season, and Waddle for two rounds later.
Do you kind of feel like Devonta Smith and AJ Brown are in the same category now?
Yes, but I would rather have Jalen Waddle than Devonta Smith.
See, it gets closer than I think it should be. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to go into that in later episodes. We're going to delve into how each position finished and where they were projected to and where they ended up. I think that's important. We really should cover that. And if you guys would like to cover a specific player, again, please drop that in the comments. We'll cover a specific player for you guys, especially for those guys in dynasties or in keepers. You guys have keeper questions. I know we're going to have some keeper questions coming up, but viable questions, right? Anything else about the Super Bowl, Aaron? Anything else? The TikTok boy blew me away. That was way too much. AJ Brown was upset. He was in his feelings.
At the same time, he didn't. I saw not one lie in what he tweeted back.
No. That was
you're lucky the Chiefs came out and signed you for cheap on a 1-year deal, bro. Let's be real.
That was to the point. But to be honest with you, they should have gave Juju the money they gave MVS because MVS was a waste of $14 million, $11 million, whatever it is, whatever it was.
30 for 3 years.
It's tough. Yeah. And as Packer fans, we knew it was going to happen.
Yep, and he's definitely not going to be their wide receiver 1, and they found that out real quick.
No. All right, so you want to get into some news notes real fast, and then we'll jump into our quick recap.
Yep, that'll work.
Let's do it. So the Bears announced that they have officially closed on the purchase of Arlington Heights property, another big step towards a new stadium.
Yep.
About goddamn time.
Yep.
Soldier Field sucks. And
Listen,
I follow a couple people on TikTok, Go ahead.
the thing is what cities are going to find out is if an NFL team that is in their city is not, if the city isn't going to help the NFL team do the renovations for a stadium or build a new stadium or do whatever for a stadium, they're going to go buy a piece of property 20, 30 minutes outside of said city and make Patriot Place and title towns, and where they own all of the land and all of the shops and the restaurants and everything on that land. So the team is making all of that revenue stream as well. Like if cities don't figure this out, Green Bay might be the only team you go to where they're actually in the name of the city. I mean, San Francisco moved to Santa Clara. The Los Angeles Rams and Chargers are both in, what is it, Inglewood?
It's still LA County, but yeah.
But still, you know what I mean? The Raiders, I think because it's Vegas and they can put it right on the strip, they're always going to be right there in Vegas. I mean, Denver's, but you know what I'm saying? Like the Giants and the Jets, they play in Jersey. So
I agree. And look, I mean, again, this is maybe a little biased information, but whatever the Packers are doing for Titletown, if you guys ever been to Green Bay, it's a great time. There's a lot of stuff to do. It's a fun time, a lot of bars.
I hear Patriot Place is the same way. And I guess the biggest one we probably forgot was Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones bought all of his stuff in Arlington.
There ain't nothing around that stadium when I went.
They make a killing.
Yeah, but you go to Jerry World, you're going to Jerry World for a reason.
Yeah, but that's the point. But that's just what I'm saying. Like, and it is fun. Like places that you get to go and, okay, we're gonna go to the pro shop, then we're gonna go hit up this restaurant, and then like everything that you are gonna want to do outside of like, unless you go to like New York City where it's a big sightseeing place like Philadelphia, Boston, all that stuff. Like, there's not a lot to do in Green Bay. Let's be real. There's probably not a lot to do in Foxborough, Massachusetts either. But if you can spend a day on one piece of property that one organization owns, all of your money is going right back to it.
Couldn't agree more.
So, anyways,
moving on. Soldier Field.
Good for the Bears. I hope it works out for you.
Yeah, sure. They can just light that whole organization on fire. I wouldn't care. Steelers assistant head coach John Mitchell has announced that he retired after 29 years. It's so weird to say that. Jaguars Calvin Ridley, who was suspended indefinitely for betting on the NFL for like $1,000 in 2021, is applying for reinstatement today. Source said he was suspended for all of 2022 season and is eligible to petition for his reinstatement today. I would imagine there wouldn't be any qualms about letting him right back in.
Yeah. I think it was like a PP smack of, hey, you're an example for all the other players. Don't fuck around and do this.
I mean, that was a big PP slap. That's a whole season he didn't get paid.
Big PP slap. But let's not forget the Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval County. They were pretty good this year. We might talk about them in a little bit.
I promise you we will.
But they have Calvin Ridley now too.
We'll talk
Surround
about
your
him.
young quarterback with weapons. Way to go. Good job.
That's why I had two on the show dog. Ladies and gentlemen, I have two on the show dog just for that specific reason, because I knew that was going to happen. The Dolphins defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has officially signed his contract, and the organization will announce he's on board today. Source said, "Is this for the Super Bowl?" It is. Sorry. That's really what are the relevant news you want to talk about? Derek Carr being released.
Sean Payton's with the Broncos.
Sean Payton with the Broncos.
News.
Dalvin Cook underwent surgery today, but I don't think it really matters because he's going to be fine for the season. Dalvin Cook takes a huge step back for me going forward in drafts.
Yeah, he's getting older.
Yeah, I think second round is probably where I'm baseline right now.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon signs his 5-year contract to be the head coach of the Cardinals.
Yeah, and then Spikeman, Strike or whatever they call him, Spikeman. He signed with the Colts yesterday. Head coach of the Colts now. What's that?
The Jets are hiring the Titans' former offensive coordinator to be their passing game coordinator.
Probably
so he's not.
Nathaniel Hackett sucks.
Is that a demotion?
I believe so.
It's got to be. That's not an offensive coordinator. It's a demotion.
Yeah, believe
That's
so.
tough. That's tough.
But who knows? Maybe the passing game comes out really great with Zach Wilson, and we, see what happens.
Before we get started on everything else, I think that's really relevant news right now.
So with that, though, I want to bring up the fact of everyone's talking going back to the Super Bowl. Everyone's talking about the Eagles they're gonna be able to run it back. They're gonna be able to do this. They're gonna be able to do that. Nope, they lost both coordinators, offensive and defensive coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Jason Kelsey might retire. Lane Johnson might retire. Fletcher Cox might retire. Brandon Ingram might retire. They're gonna lose a lot of pieces to the offseason, to money, to retirement. Like,
I wouldn't say they're going to run it back. I wouldn't say that.
They won't run it back.
I would say that they're still going to be a contender. They have too much firepower on the offense, and Jalen Hurts looked too good.
Yeah. Can we talk about CJ Gardner Johnson on the defensive side of the ball? Got traded from the Saints, and that dude is a monster safety.
Balling.
Dude is really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm with that.
Saints fucked up.
It's tough to say though, but you are right. They have an agent team, going to be having some turnover, but that's what the free agency is for. And they have a young quarterback they're not really paying. It's like it's the bread and the butter. That's what it is.
I agree, and that's why I said that they would end up franchising when we had that conversation. They would end up franchising and doing to Jalen what they did to Lamar, where they end up franchising him and signing a bigger defensive piece, just because a lot of their players are going to be aged out by the time it comes around. That was my main point of it. So,
but they still have time on his contract too. They still have time.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They still have time. Well, that was his third year, so really they've got 2 years because they'll give him a 6-year option.
Let it ride.
So,
let it ride.
We'll see.
Before we get started on everything else, maybe we might want to take a sponsor break. But before we do that, where is Derek Carr going?
He'll end up going to the Saints. He just wanted to F over the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah. I'm proud of that. I'm okay with that.
Stick it to him.
Yeah.
Who cares?
They didn't want to give him the time of day at the end of his tenure there. If he was already going to be out of the door, what are you going to bench him for no reason?
I mean, to be fair, Stidham did ball out of control.
He did. It is true. That is true. But like, still, man.
Yeah, I agree. I get it.
It wasn't Carr that was. I mean, he didn't help, but he wasn't the problem. He wasn't the issue. And Carr solves a lot of problems that the Saints have.
Yeah, he does. But have you seen how much shit the Raiders fans are talking on Derek Carr?
Because they think that he's, not a true Raider or something like that. I mean,
Nate, you can't win games in November and December when it matters, and this, that, and the other. It's like, well, yeah, he also had John Gruden for the last 4 years.
He's had one of the worst defenses that's ever existed around him. He's never had an offensive line. Up to this season, the best receiver that he ever played with was Michael Crabtree.
You wouldn't say Amari Cooper?
I guess you could say. I don't know. Crabtree was a dog. I don't know. Crabtree was a dog.
He had that Raider mentality, huh?
Yeah, Crustaceous Tree was a dog.
Yeah,
I don't know. But now it's Devontae, obviously. But
yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. And if he goes to the Saints, you better believe I'm keeping Chris. You better believe it.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I do think he'll either go to the Saints or Tennessee.
I hope he goes to the Saints. I hope he does. Yeah. For my sake.
Yeah, I'm not drafting. I'm going to tell you right now, unless it's Chris Olave with a decent quarterback, I'm not drafting any Saints player next year.
It pains me because I have such a nice value.
What's his name? Is it Dennis Allen or Dennis Campbell? Something. The head coach of the Saints. I think it's Dennis Allen. Whoever's running that offense is putrid. It's gross.
A schmuck.
It's nasty.
A schmuck.
Pretty sure a high school offensive coordinator could call better plays than that. And figure out how to use your people.
Andy Dalton has some sort of really disgusting dirt on that offensive coordinator.
Or the owner came down and said, hey, I will fire you, but do not pay Jameis because we don't want to pay him any incentives.
Even being that close to the playoffs, and I can't deny that. They're like, that's so stupid, but I can't deny it. I can't. so stupid.
Jameis has an incentive-based contract, and he got injured in week 4. He's not going to hit any of these markers if we just say we're keeping him out because of injury, and then just happens to lose his starting job, even though we told him that wasn't going to happen. You want to lose your job, or would you rather have a quarterback that loses his?
I hate it. I hate it here, Aaron. I hate it here.
Just let him throw. Just let him get out there and throw the ball. I get it. It's Jameis Winston, and he's not great, but he's better than Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton's so bad. Oh my!
Andy Dalton couldn't beat Dak Prescott out for a starting job. Like, let's be real. What?
Deep cut.
Sorry.
Deep cut.
Sorry.
Okay.
Andy Dalton ran out of Cincinnati, and he had the perfect hair color to match the uniforms. You couldn't tell if he had a helmet on or not.
You want to hit a commercial break here, Aaron?
Yeah.
There we go.
My comedic jokes are going bad, so we'll see you after the break.
Hey, everyone. This show is brought to you by Driffles Jerky. Are you like us and love beef jerky, but hate paying those high prices for subpar meat? Well, at drifflesjerky.com, they have the money meat.
You said the money meat?
That's right, the money meat. Great tasting beef jerky made from top quality cuts of beef at great prices. Use promo code franchise tag to get yourself 10% off on your order today.
That's DRIFFILLS jerky.com. Hello, everyone. We are back. Sorry, my jokes got a little out of control there. Sometimes I like to think that I'm a stand-up comedian, Ray. Sometimes I realize shouldn't be.
You should keep your day job.
Yep.
You should keep that.
Keep doing what I'm doing.
Stick to podcasting. You're good at that, right?
Some people
right,
would say that I'm bad at it. Just ask all Matt Jenkins.
Matt. Hey,
Yep.
Matt.
You could call him a mark-ass bitch, though. I mean, you could do that.
God.
It's off-season. It's a different show, baby. What's up?
Full off season. We're all the way there. All right. So let's do this season recap real fast. What we're going to do, we're going to go over our most surprising team, our most underwhelming team, way too early season contenders next season that were not the contenders this season, or maybe cusp plays, maybe, I don't know. Probably going to have some similar names on there. And then who falls off? Who falls off? Who do you think is going to fall off? I think you already kind of alluded to one of them. Who falls off? Want me to kick this off?
Yeah, you're going to go most surprising team?
Yeah, most surprising team for me. I was going to go with Jacksonville. Low-hanging fruit. And I was even going to go with Seattle. Again, low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. I'm going to go Detroit Lions.
Oh, dang.
Detroit Lions surprised the hell out of me. All of us thought, hey, this team is going to suck, but they're going to be trash. Buns. And you know what? They would have played in the Super Bowl. I bet that would have been just as close of a game.
Yep.
They were hands down one of the best teams in the NFL at the end of the season.
No, I take back my yep on that one.
Maybe one of the hottest teams at the end of the season.
Yeah, but I take back my yep on the close. That same close on the Super Bowl.
Okay,
I take that back.
Maybe it would have been a blowout. Who knows? We'll never know.
Yeah,
didn't happen. What about you, Aaron?
So for me, as you said, Jacksonville could be an easy one, low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the New York Giants.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go with the Jags here, but okay.
I love the Jags. They're my wife's team. I've come to getting to watch the play too. I'm like, man, okay. It's just a feel good story of the turnaround that happened from last year with fucking old Urban Meyer and his shenanigans. But the New York Giants, because everyone just assumed that them and the Commanders are dead in that division this year. Daniel Jones at quarterback, Saquon, is he going to stay healthy? Is he not? Oh, they paid Kenny Golladay all this money. He's not even playing now. Do they have a wide receiver one? They traded Kadarius Toney away. I mean, they did surprisingly better than what I thought they would do. So,
and honestly, another real question:
they made the playoffs.
What do they do with Danny Dimes? What do they do?
I don't know, dude. I literally have no idea.
You got to pay him. You got to pay him.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to tag him, are they? Because even if they tag him, the tag is like the percentage of the top 5 quarterbacks, and that's some big money, anyways.
That's some cheese. That's like $40 million what he's going to make.
Yeah, so you might as well
$38 million.
You might as well just It's way more
Just
than that
sign.
because I know if the Ravens franchise Lamar this year and then franchise him again the next year, he's guaranteed $130 million.
What is that like? What is that like?
I don't know. I
What
wish I
does
could just
that
get
even mean?
$1,300.
Right? I was $13. That's all I want. $13. Monetization coming through.
But so I don't know.
That's a big question. I think we're gonna get into that. Upcoming free agents and stuff like that. We'll get into that too. I think that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Like
All
that.
the whispers. Yep, I thought I'd surprise you with that one too.
Yeah, definitely. Way too early next season contender.
No,
What do you got, Aaron?
let's wait on that one. Most underwhelming team.
Oh, most underwhelming team. Sorry, I skipped one. Most underwhelming team. I'm not even going to say it's low hanging fruit. The Green Bay Football Packers.
Okay.
That was one of the most pathetic excuses of sequences of defense that we were hyped up to have. What the hell was our offense all season? What was Aaron Rodgers doing on third downs? What was the decision of taking away the ball from Aaron Jones, our clear and cut number one best option on offense? Why did it take us so long to get Keyshawn Nixon involved in the special teams?
Nobody knows, bro. Nobody knows.
So many questions that did not get answered.
I mean, I know Rodgers isn't doing the darkness or shoot just for about football, but why the hell do you think he wants to go into the darkness? He's got to wash away all the bad memories of this year.
I told Eric this, and I don't know if you saw it too, but he had mentioned that he was seeing like this man in black, this dark figure, and he wanted to confront him in the darkness room.
That's his come out of the darkness room.
That's his reason.
Well,
and he might come on Pat McAfee and be like, "Hey Ray, you don't know my ass. Shut the hell up." He might say that. Who knows?
That's fair.
Who knows? He watches everything.
We're not in his circle.
I'm not. Thank
most
God.
underwhelming for me. I have two honorable mentions.
Okay.
Well, I have two.
I want to hear them.
First off is the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh yeah.
They were supposed to be so good and great, and that offensive line that was one of the best in the league 2 years ago. Last year, this past season was one of the worst in the league. I don't know what happened there. They're super underwhelming though.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, a lot of offseason hype for this team leading up to this season. Who is it?
The Chargers.
No.
Oh,
a lot of offseason hype leading up to this season, but it is the Denver Broncos.
Oh yeah, my goodness.
Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett were going to take them to the promised land, and they were going to rival the Chiefs, and we were all just eating that cake that they were feeding us, and we got fat on it. And then when the first game came, we threw all that cake up and said, "Holy hell, what am I watching?"
Oh, I still had some left, so I had to throw up a couple more weeks before my bowels were emptied.
But yes, the Chargers are also an honorable mention too, where they're supposed to be really good, and then they barely make the playoffs and get bounced because they let someone come back on them. First round.
They figured it out. They figured it out towards the end of the season, but you're right. They let a Jacksonville Jaguars inexperienced team, at the same time of getting four interceptions.
You have 4 interceptions, 4 takeaways from your defense in the first half, and you still get beat.
No business losing that game. No business.
None.
But they did make the playoffs, so it's hard to say they were underwhelming for sure.
They weren't as a significantly steep, underwhelming team as the other 3 that we just mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's Green Bay and Denver right there. I don't know, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
For those surprises, though, I do think that we needed to talk about the Seahawks real fast to go back to it. We do need to talk about it. They were supposed to be the worst team in the NFL, hands down, and they weren't. They weren't. Now, they got bounced in the playoffs as well, but they weren't supposed to be there at all. So
good for you,
I don't
Gino.
know. Yeah, good for you, Gene. I hope he gets paid. I hope he does.
He said after they lost the playoffs, he would like to retire a Seahawk because he likes it there.
Yeah, I loved Washington. Honestly, I understand it. I get it.
Yeah, so
loved it.
Yep.
Way too early next season contender, and why?
Way too early next season contender, and why?
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati
it's way too
Bengals.
Early. A contender next season?
Yep, Cincinnati Bengals will be a contender next season because they're going to have basically the same team, same coaching staff. They have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. And T. Higgins already said he doesn't want to leave Cincinnati.
Okay. I got two.
Their defense is pretty solid too. That would be my one, but why that is why, but I do think that the Kansas City is always going to be a roadblock. So
It is. As long as Patrick Mahomes lives and breathes. Yes.
Yep.
It is. For me, gonna rebound right back over Detroit Lions.
a contender for the whole thing.
Early contender, at least to get into the playoffs, at least to make it to the dance. But I think they are a
Super Bowl or bust contender.
Okay, well, Super Bowl or bust. If the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, they are a Super Bowl contender. If they do. That team is so young and so talented. It's all they needed was a quarterback. Even with Mike White, look at what that offense was with Mike White. Do you think Mike White is a generational talent? No. Is Aaron Rodgers? Yes. Still to this day, right now, he still is. Do I hate him as much as I possibly can hate a human being? I'm pretty close. Pretty close.
So what you're saying is you want love season?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Let it burn. Let it burn to the ground, baby.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to pay him.
All the Packers fans like you, am I fed up with his bullshit and his antics on the field where he just won't throw it to a receiver? I am. Pull your head out of your ass, big guy. Let's play football. All right? Throw it to people. Okay? But to all the other fucking Packers fans like you, I'm going to remind y'all, don't fucking forget what he did for the franchise. We've had 2 generations of great quarterbacks. Don't shit on his grave now because you're so tired of him. After you praise him, after you praise him, just fucking kisses the ground that he walks on for fucking the last 10 years. And this isn't necessarily directed at you. This could be directed at other Packers fans too. Don't just all of a sudden turn your back and be like, oh, Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that. Does he need to be a little more involved? Yeah, probably. Does he need to spread the ball around a little more? Yeah, but he also has shown the Packers as the organization as well of what happens when you let a solid number 1 receiver walk without having a fully developed replacement.
No, and how many years have I been saying they needed to find somebody to be behind Devontae? How many years?
They went with Geronimo Allison. They went with MVS. They went with Alan Lazard. Who else was it? There was another one in there that I'm forgetting about.
Sammy Watkins.
But I'm talking but you see what I'm saying? Like,
no, I get what you're saying. I understand that, and I don't think. Look, I say that I'm tired of Rodgers because I'm tired of hearing. I'm so tired of hearing what he's going to do and what he's not going to do. I'm so sick of it, and I don't want to pay him $65 million because then we've done everything we can with him. We're not. He has regressed to the point. This is how I feel. He was regressed to the point where he needs to have a roster now, where he didn't need it before. Now he does.
No, he needed one person in somewhat of a running game.
Now he's $65 million of a cap hit. We can't go get somebody else. That's kind of where I'm feeling.
I agree. The money wise, if you can get someone to take that contract off the Packers' hands, I agree. But all I'm saying is the people who are like, Aaron Rodgers is this and he's washed and he's this. Aaron Rodgers isn't washed.
I don't think he's washed.
Have as good of an offense as he's had the last 2 or 3 years.
I don't think he's washed. I don't think he's washed at all.
I don't either. It's just one of those things. Once again, injuries kind of played into it, and it doesn't help that he didn't have Christian Watson all year. But anyways, we're on a tangent.
Yeah, this has been a long tangent. But to say what I was saying, if he goes to the Jets, and it just kind of feeds him what you're saying. He goes to the Jets, they're a contender right away, right instantaneously. That defense is too good. Offense is.
Sorry, if he goes to the Jets, they have a hard fight out of that division alone.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it could happen. They could get in on, I'd say, a wild card because I don't think that the Bills they'll be better than the Bills or the Dolphins. Maybe I think the Dolphins might probably be pretty good this year again, especially if you get the defense turned around. But however, if he goes to the Jets and he can stay there for 2 or 3 years and play good quality football and still also mentor Zach Wilson, I think they'll be in a win-win.
Maybe they need to get rid of Zach Wilson and just keep Mike White.
That could work too.
Maybe do that. That's what I would do because Zach Wilson needs to be in the XFL. He's not an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not. We've been saying that for years.
Yeah. So those are the contenders, huh? Obviously, Kansas City's always in it. Obviously, the Bills are going to be in it. NFC is pretty open, though.
Yeah, I think that's why I wanted to throw Detroit's name out there.
That's fair.
They have a young roster. Their defense is up and coming. They started playing a lot better football towards down the line.
Yep.
They're not
That's fair.
losing really anybody. They're gaining one more year in Jameson Williams. Sorry.
You're good.
I just think that
And
their
they've all
offensive
bought
line
it.
is just going to get better.
They've all bought into that culture too, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, and they have a top 6 pick.
Right?
They can trade back and really shore up some other things on their team while still staying in the first round. That top 6 pick is crucial.
Does Chicago trade out of the number 1 pick since they already have a quarterback?
Have to.
Right? They have to.
If they don't do it, so stupid. They could get. Look at what the Saints gave up to go get Chris Olave.
Yep.
Look at what they gave up, and that wasn't the number 1 overall pick.
Nope.
My God, they could get a whole franchise worth of bullshit and just stack that roster. Get Justin Fields some help. They won't. You're right.
They're gonna mess it up.
They're gonna fuck that up.
They're gonna
mess
it up.
It's okay because they're the Bears, and the Bears suck. And that's
Have you seen where all the Bears fans are bitching and complaining about? We traded the number 32 pick in the first round for Chase Claypool. It's like, yeah, you also have the number 1 pick in the first round. Trade it and get your double or triple digit first round picks that you're going to get for it. And it doesn't matter at that point in time.
Triple.
You might get 2 this year, 1 next year, or another one a little further back this year, and 2 next year. Or you might get a 1 this year, a 2 this year, and a 1 next year.
Or a player too. You might get a player with that involved as well. I'm telling you, they'd be so foolish to take that number 1 overall pick.
You know how many calls they've probably already fielded for testing the waters, and they're going to wait till after the combine.
That phone don't stop ringing.
It can't.
That phone don't stop ringing.
All right, dude. Who falls off?
That's a tough one.
You gonna go teams or players?
Let's go teams. So I want to talk about players more specifically when we get into it. Since we're just dipping our feet back into the water here, getting a little wet back there. It's okay.
Ooh, it's cold.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. It's tough to say who falls off. I want to say the Giants because I don't know what they're going to do with Danny Dimes, and I think they're going to be a whole restructure because they still got to pay Saquon too, and I don't know what they're going to do. There's a lot of what ifs and buts out there. But the number 1 team that comes to mind is the Vikings. It's the number 1 team that comes to mind. They fall off hard.
They won, what was it? They won 9 of their 11 one-score games or something like that this year. When the year before you saw it, they went 6-6 or something, and they really made the wild card. I would agree with the Vikings on that one. That's actually a good shout.
And then honorable. I don't know if you were going to throw this out either. But Tampa Bay is going to be just awful.
They're awful this year.
They're going to be very much so, just a dumpster fire for years, because they had nothing behind Tom Brady, nothing. So
they have Kyle Trask.
Sure,
he was a Florida quarterback, I believe.
That doesn't instill confidence in me.
He's not super awful. Pretty good. He plays
Who do
in
you
the
got?
SEC.
Who do you got?
Oh man,
it's a tough one, right? That's the toughest question we had.
I know they kind of fell off this year too, but with all the hype, Arizona is going to stay bad. They're not gonna do anything. I had one, but it's a bold take. It's a really bold take. Real bold take.
I'm here for it. This is the offseason. Doesn't matter, right?
The Buffalo Bills are going to fall off.
You know what? Before you said it, I was like, I bet he's going to say the Bills. I bet he is.
The Bills are going to fall off because of eventually teams are going to figure out that it's Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen and no one else. Yeah, Josh Allen's always going to be a threat. Their defense, Jordan Poyer is an unrestricted free agent. Their defense isn't going to get any better.
They got a year older of Micah Hyde.
That's what I'm saying. And coming off of a season-ending injury. So, I think the Bills, I'm not saying that they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm just saying they're probably not going to be in contention for the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC.
Like I said, I think that because of how many moves are going to be happening through the offseason, they're going to have some real competition, and I think headed to that division. The Jets are going to get a quarterback, whether it be Derek Carr, whether it be Aaron Rodgers, whether it be somebody. They're going to go get a quarterback.
I think even with Derek Carr, it gives them a better chance, a fighting chance with him than Zach Wilson.
huge, huge. Because Garrett Wilson is an unreal talent, and you have Elijah Moore, and you have Corey Davis, and you have those two running backs.
Elijah Moore's not happy there. They might trade him this offseason.
They don't have to if they go get a quarterback that can throw a fucking ball.
That's fair. And can support more than one person.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're sitting there saying if Carr or Rodgers goes there, Elijah Moore gets real happy real fast.
Yeah,
he's going to get real chummy
in the slot.
He's going to start having a lot of breakfasts with quarterbacks. You know how Cooper Kupp did that with Stafford.
Yeah.
A lot of breakfasts in New York.
Yeah. Hey, I can see. Yeah, they are. I get it. I just keep saying but as you keep talking, the wheels keep turning. And I'm just like, I don't want to go on too long because we're at 40 minutes already. So
well, let's wrap this up. Anything else for the greater good there, Aaron?
Yeah, I do want to see your most surprising overall player. I know we'll get into players later. We'll break it down by category, but your overall who surprised you the most this year?
That's tough. I
can tell you mine.
I don't want to be a homer, but Christian Watson definitely comes to mind.
You want to know who surprised me the most?
Who?
Jamal Williams.
That's Amon-Ra was on that list. Amon-Ra was, but not necessarily the most surprising. For me, Trevor Lawrence.
That's fair.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, like I said, mine's Jamal just because his usage and having DeAndre Swift in the backfield, and then you just command the backfield, and now it's yours, and you score 19 tutters, bro. You break Barry Sanders' Barry Sanders. You break his single season touchdown record.
Come on.
I know he had an extra game to do it, but still, like, you wouldn't expect that from the dude who was number 2 on the depth chart coming into the season, and the DeAndre Swift hype was unreal. Yeah, I was DeAndre Swift. Let me get as much of that as I can. Mm-hmm. So,
Justin Fields as well needs to be on that list.
Yeah, he did. He took a decent step forward with his legs. He had no help.
No,
he had no help. All right, so your most underwhelming person you thought was the most underwhelming on the season.
If it's not Russell Wilson, I mean, we can just talk about that real quick. Russell Wilson was absolute trash can, dumpster fire, disgusting filth of the earth, scum.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Outside of that, underwhelming. His name is. Yeah, go ahead. His name jumps to mind. It's Russell
Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh.
Because not only before the injuries was he not performing where you drafted him.
Yeah.
He was just. I know the Colts underwhelmed. He's right there with it because you thought they were going to be good. You thought he was going to be good. To me, he just kind of pooped the bed.
And Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, underwhelming for where you drafted him.
Oh yeah, for what you think he's going to be.
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3.
Alvin Kamara comes to mind as well.
Oh my God, how did we forget that? It's Russell Wilson and Alvin Kamara.
That has to be it. That's it. Yep. Discussion over.
Yeah, that's it. My God, I forgot.
At least Jonathan Taylor has an excuse if he got injured and was out for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. Oh. That's tough. They're on the underwhelming shit the bed train.
And literally this year, because of Dennis Allen and the Alvin Kamara experience that I had, that basically single-handedly lost me the season, especially after Cooper Kupp went out. I will never draft another Saints player unless it's Chris Olave with the quarterback.
You might never get a chance.
I'm out.
You might not ever get a chance.
That's my point. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out on the Saints.
They get a quarterback. Chris Olave stays with me for the rest of his career.
That's fine. That's fine. You're paying a heavy premium.
An 11th round pick?
Yeah, in 7 years you're paying a heavy premium.
7 years.
He's going to be older, and then the pick's going to be higher. You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
that's a different me. That's a different me. Sure, let's wrap it up.
All right, guys. As always, oh man, please be sure to jump over to driftlessjerky.com and use code franchise tag for 10% off your order. Join our Discord. It do be popping sometimes, you know. It's pretty, as the kids say, lit. Bussin'.
Keep an eyeball out for TikTok too.
Oh,
keep an eyeball out.
I don't know about that one. I'm not a very
keep an eyeball out
TikToker. No, I'm just kidding. Join our Discord though. Link was at the bottom. And as always, guys, please be sure to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us. Hit the notification bell so you know anytime when we go live, and give us, thumbs up on the videos. It helps us in the YouTube algorithm. But as always, we'll see you later.